guys. All right, guys. Welcome to HCS live show. I know I put on the thumbnail talking craps, and that's our good friend, same bed Dave Carlin's show. Um, we'll be talking craps. I haven't done a live stream show in a while, so bear with me. But we got a great guest today. Our guest is Gamble with Jimmy. We're gonna get him up on here. You guys may have seen his channel, may have not, but he displays a lot of strategies. He goes to the casinos. He wins at the casinos. So I thought he would be a great guest to have on the show. Oh, we got a super chat over here. Casino Gaming Central, $10 super chat. I'm just gonna put my money in the swear jar up front. Oh my gosh, no swearing. We got Toothpick Ted here. Toothpick is here. Uh, Too early again. F Sue is here. A lot of people are joining in. We got already 38 people. Old Bay Craps is here. Super Mario. A lot of people not. And we got Craps Master's Journey says, "Is this the? There is a goat in craps." Everybody's tuning in. All right, guys. So how we're gonna do this is we're gonna have your questions. We're going to be talking with Jimmy. I'm going to have him on in about a minute. We're going to be talking about, he's going to be sharing his journey and who he's all about and what sets him apart from everyone else. And then if you guys have questions, put a Q in the front. If it pertains to the subject we're talking about, I'm going to flash up your question and have him answer it. If not, I'll flag it down and then we'll have us about 15 to 20 minutes at the end to address your specific question. So that's how the format's going to go. Let's get Jimmy in here. All right. And let's unmute Jimmy. Jimmy, how are you? Can you hear me? Uh, we can unmute him. Look at I haven't done a live show, so this format.
You're good. It asked me for a disclosure. I had to give you permission to mute me or to unmute me.
Guys, can you guys hear Jimmy okay? Is his volume okay? Are you able to turn
Hello?
up your volume, Jimmy?
Actually, no. This is
That's
kind
good.
of weird with this camera. Hopefully, the guys can hear me
Yeah.
okay.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I think I can hear you. All
And
right.
everybody can hear me.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Everybody,
Okay.
give me a thumbs up if you can hear him. I don't know if you have your YouTube up. You can see. Oh, they said yes. Will says yes. He doesn't look like his picture. He says he does looks like his picture up there. Loud and clear, says Willie. All right,
Picture
let's
of
get
me that you
started.
had a thumbnail.
Oh, in the
That
thumbnail.
that that picture. Yeah, the picture you have of me on the thumbnail. That was in my prime of my life. I was in my 20s.
Oh, I see. All right, Jimmy. Thank you again. I just want to thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule and coming on HCS Live. Um, so before we start, let's why don't you tell us on your journey how a little bit about you, how you got into the game of craps, how long you've been playing, and so on and so forth. So people who didn't watch your channel can get to know you here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It's really good to be on your show. You know, you were actually the first craps channel I ever watched on YouTube.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I used to watch you guys all the time, and I always, you were the only channel that I watched forever. So
Mhm.
it's really, and I think you're a great guy with all the people that you play with. So I've enjoyed it for several years. You've been doing it what, 5 years?
Yeah, about 5 years now.
5 years, yeah. Well, for those of you that don't know me, I do mainly strategies and things like that. My focus is with craps and baccarat. Those are my two games that I specialize in, and I focus just on those two games. I used to play a little bit of roulette, but the odds in roulette are not, as good So I've cut back on roulette. It's a fun game to play, but it's not something that I focus on to win money. My
Mhm.
main focus is with baccarat and craps.
Right.
I've only been playing craps now for about, I'd say about 4 years. Altogether, about 4 years with craps. I used to be a poker player for 17 years, so I played poker a lot, and I was strictly tournament play. Um, and I've always been a business person since I was 17 years old. I've been self-employed, and I'm 56 now, so I've never had a
Mhm.
regular job where I worked for anybody. I've been self-employed my whole life, and I was financially successful with stocks and crypto. That gave me a good lifestyle and to invest in different things. So I officially retired about 2 years ago. It will be 2 years in May. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so it's
So,
nice. Retirement is definitely pretty cool, man.
so
It's
how
pretty
did you
cool.
transition from a poker player to a craps player?
The frustration from poker. There's a lot of money that you can make in poker, guys. But there's a big difference between being a poker player that is a cash game player and a tournament player. So a tournament player goes through big, a lot of you guys that know about poker, you go through these big fields. Like sometimes there's 1,000 people, sometimes there's 300 people, and some of these buy-ins are very expensive. They're $500, $1,000. So it gets very expensive because it's such a small percentage of people that actually get to that prize money. And the
Mhm.
thing that's frustrating with poker is you can be a very skilled poker player, but so many times your life is at you're getting ready to die like so many times. There's so many things that you got to avoid that you just can't avoid. You could be ahead. You calculate the percentages. You're like, I know I'm like probably 83% favored to win here. And then the guy gets the perfect card on the river and you're knocked
Mhm.
out. And the feeling that you get after putting that much energy into it is very frustrating. You always fall short. So you get to a point where you always feel like you're a loser, even though you're a good player. So I
Uh-huh.
do have people. I don't know if you guys know Jeremy Becker. He's a really good friend of mine. He's a professional poker player. We played together for many, many years. He's won about $3 million in poker tournaments. And the things that he's done in poker, strictly in tournament play, is actually unbelievable. And that's kind of like what I've done in craps. It's kind of like mind boggling the things that I've accomplished in Baccarat and craps, where a lot of the people just think it's impossible to do that. Like if I mention I make 250,000, 350,000 a year, everybody out there is like, that's impossible. But
Mhm.
I thought the same thing with poker. I thought that was impossible to make $3 million, playing poker, but it can be
Yeah.
done.
So how did you like let's say you were you playing poker one day and you just saw the craps table and you said, "Hey, I think I can win at this game." Or did you study on craps and then jump into the game?
That's a great question. No, it was not like that at all. I just got so frustrated with poker that I decided to cut back on poker, and then I kind of started losing that passion for poker. I
Mhm.
still love the game, and I still play with my friends in some tournaments. I just don't play like I used to play, and I don't miss it the way that I thought that I would miss it. So in
Oh.
the last 2 years, I've played maybe 3 tournaments, which I used to play 5 tournaments a week. You know,
Uh-huh.
so huge difference. But how with crabs, it was. Um, I to be honest with you, I don't even remember a specific day or saying what got me into crabs. That's why it's such a great question because I really don't remember
Mhm.
exactly what it was that triggered me to a craps table. Um, I know, Howard Rock and Roller. I did some shooting and stuff with him. I know you had a little bit of experience with him too.
Yeah.
Um, and but that was it. So I started playing craps, but it was always had to be bubble craps because we didn't have live craps tables at the Tampa Hard Rock. That's my hometown. And I couldn't wait for sports betting, and I couldn't wait for live craps. I just slowly started getting into like bubble craps. I watched some of the people on YouTube. Like I said, your channel was the
Mhm.
first channel that I watched on YouTube, and I would watch it all the time. And I started actually getting interested through your channel a little, and I just started playing. And what happened was, when I was playing the game, I realized, like, when I first played for the first, I would probably say for the first year, I would get so frustrated because I was so determined to beat this game. And I used to get my teeth kicked in. Like, I would literally lose and lose. I'd win and I lose and I win. And I was so frustrated with it because I thought for sure that I could be this professional craps player, and it just wasn't that easy. And I just was like, man, why can't I beat this game? So then I thought the solution was dice control. And that's where like Howard Rock and Roller came into play. And I started watching these, Golden Touch and all these so-called professional dice throwers. So I
Mhm.
started really focusing on that. And I thought that that was the solution. I was like, I'm just going to throw the dice so well that way I can put money all across the board. And I'm only going to throw a seven one out of like 15 times. That's what I thought, So I started focusing on that, and that's when I built my table. And then we had the live craps start here in Tampa, and I would play every single day. I liked it better than the bubble craps machines because I was always, a little iffy about the bubble craps machines on the way they vibrate. So I put 3 years of hard work into throwing the dice. And the dice was not the solution. I thought it would be. I know a lot of you guys out there think that dice control is the solution, but I can tell you from experience and data of 3 years that it's not. It's actually the way that you play and manage your money. It's your
Mhm.
ability to have the proper bankroll to manage your money correctly. So there's a lot of things that we could go
Yeah.
into about the way to win in this game.
So that's when you got into YouTube. At that point, when you transitioned from the priority of dice shooting to betting and money management, right? And
Yeah,
then
I think. Go
that's
ahead.
how
I'm
you
sorry.
got on your YouTube channel from there.
There's a lot of things going with my YouTube channel that's going to be changing. But when I got into the YouTube, um, I had the vision of, I didn't understand YouTube. I didn't really know everything that there was to know that I know today about YouTube.
Mhm.
But my vision of YouTube was, you're going to be rich. Like, you're going to start a channel and you're going to get all the advertisement money. You're just going to get all this money, and you just got to put, when you get to 10,000 subscribers, you're going to have like $5,000 a month coming in. That's what I thought about YouTube. So my full focus about YouTube was just showing craps and stuff. I had watched you, I watched Waylon, I watched all these people. All you guys were way ahead of me, playing already with your YouTube channels. So I
Mhm.
just I just started doing that and said, hey, this is something that I can do. And the more that I played, I told you guys the story about how I would lose. And then, so you have to know how to lose and understand why you're losing before
Yeah.
you can actually start winning.
So
So
you at the beginning you mentioned you got your teeth kicked in and you started losing, but now on your channel you've been winning a lot. What what do you say
now,
makes you
when you say on my channel, what do you mean? You talking about in just on
on
my
your
home table, or are you talking about at the casino?
at the well, I mean that's what you mentioned on your channel that you've been winning in the casinos, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what makes you different from the normal craps player at this point in your craps journey?
Yeah, that's an easy question to answer, actually. There's very few people out there. A lot of the people think that they're good, and they maybe base it on things like, whether it's shooting the dice, or it's just playing a straight up strategy or something. Anybody can do that. I don't know if, for those of you that watch me, you hear me say it a lot. I always say, don't play like an AI robot. If you go to the casino and you watch, whether it was my strategy or you watch Brian's strategy or you watch Waylon's strategy, anybody's strategy that you think is a good strategy, and you go to the casino and you start playing it, and you're just copying the strategy. You're just doing exactly what you saw, what you think is going to work. It doesn't always work like that. When you go to the casino, you might find that strategy that you're playing is going to work 50% of the time. Even if that strategy works 75% of the time, you're not going to be able to make a living playing craps. So you have to be able to use your experience and your skill set to be able to navigate this game. If you cannot navigate this game, you will not be successful. And when I refer to being successful, I'm only talking about making a living. If you want to make a living in this game, you have to take it very serious like a business. And you have to, sometimes you're going to lose. You're not always going to win, but you
Yeah.
have to make sure that you overcome those losses. You cannot allow yourself to go there if you have a $2,000 bankroll and you just lose the whole $2,000. You cannot allow a
Mhm.
bad day to destroy your whole month that you've worked so hard for, of profits and things like that. So
So,
there's so much money management that comes involved in it.
so Jimmy, making a living, can you in craps? Can you define that and give more details of what would you consider a craps player is actually making a living off craps?
Well, as far as the income goes, they're paying all their bills and they have plenty of money left over to enjoy life. Like there's people that can actually make a living playing craps. Um, Now, I personally make more money in baccarat than I do in craps. I've made more money in baccarat than I have craps, but I've made a lot of money in craps. So, like, just if you just took my craps income, it could you could support four families for the month for what I earn in craps. So I would say if the problem is that there's levels to the game. There's every individual person. It takes,
Four families, that's a lot. Are you talking about 250,000 a year? You making in
well,
that?
in 2000 and last year was my best year. I made $537,000 last year. This year, because of my month in October,
Oh, we got cut off.
ever. So this is my best month right now. So
I'm
this year
sorry,
was,
Jimmy, you got cut off a little while. Can you repeat that really quick?
yeah.
Yeah,
You asked me my income, right?
yeah.
So last year, my best year that I had was last year. I made
Mhm.
537,000 last year in profit.
Holy smokes!
This year I was behind. My income this year was half of that in profit. But October, this month, was my best month that I ever had. I made $51,000 so far in this month right here, and that's my best month I've ever had in gambling.
In craps or craps and baccarat?
Mainly baccarat, mainly
Oh, okay.
baccarat. I play both. I play craps and baccarat.
But you
So
say you win more in baccarat, right?
I do. I win more.
Yeah.
I win more money in baccarat than I do craps. And I'm going to explain to you guys the difference between the two and understand it. Like, everything becomes, you have to, everything is a businessman. You're a business person. So you have to analyze your opportunities in both games. This is why I cut out roulette, because I love roulette and it's fun, but it's not the proper game to beat the casino for you to be able to be like, you're really never going to hear somebody say, I'm a professional roulette player. It's really, in my opinion, it's impossible for you to be consistent in roulette. You have 36 numbers. So
Mhm.
if you go with black and red, you're only 47%. So you're not going to be able to depend on 40. Why would you play roulette at 47% when you could play baccarat at 50%? Basically, you don't have any green. If you
Mhm.
hit a green in roulette and you got $1,000 bet on red and it's green, you just lost $1,000. If it was in baccarat and it was a tie, you don't lose. There is no green. So you can't
Mhm.
justify focusing on roulette versus baccarat.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, yeah. No, back. Sorry, I don't know too much about backer. I don't play that game. It's
That's okay.
but we'll move on to the next topics that I have in store for you. You mentioned there's a reason why 95% of crap shop channels teach losing strategies. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, I don't think that they mean to teach losing strategies. And I'm certainly not trying to put anybody down. I definitely won't be mentioning anybody's names because at the end of the day, and I apologize to a lot of the channels out there in my very beginning with YouTube. I kind of maybe rubbed them off on the wrong way. So I do apologize to all those people because at the end of the day, all of these people love the game of craps and they're all trying to help and they're also trying to make a paycheck too. So you have to respect that, and they're putting a lot of time and effort into it. And YouTube doesn't really pay these YouTubers that much. It's a little different for me. I've kind of shared with you my income, a little bit of how much I make as a YouTuber. So my situation is a lot different than a lot of YouTubers, but a lot of these YouTubers who have been going and doing this for 3, 4, 5 years, a lot of these guys are making 1,500, got 2 grand a month for all that work that they do. So they're,
Hmm.
it's good for you guys to support them. But as far as like these
What can
people
you
when they're
in what way? I know you don't uh, mean anything against the YouTubers, but um, why do you feel the what they're teaching is gonna end up as a losing strategy? If I put it that
just
way.
from experience, yeah, great question. It's just from the experience that I have. So these people are most likely they're not playing at the level that I'm playing, and they're just not as good as I am in a humble way. It's just the truth. Like I can look at a strategy and I can see what they're doing, and I know from experience you cannot have a strategy that's going to win 50 to 60 or 75% of the time. It won't work. You have to have a strategy. When you're playing this game, you need to win 9 out of 10 times. Every time that you have a session, you better make sure that you're winning 90%, excuse me, of the time that you play that game. Because
Mhm.
if you're not, you have to adjust what you're doing. So,
Okay.
so for example, I don't really don't want to point out a particular person, but what I'll do is I'll just use the fact that if I see somebody constantly basing their whole strategies on a don't pass, a lot of these guys will just play the don't pass, and then they'll either do the don't pass or they'll do the DC. You guys all know how I feel about don't passes and comebacks and DCs. They're basically landmines. That's they're in your illusion is that they're protecting your bets, but in reality, what you're really doing is you're creating more ways to lose in most of the cases. Um, Now, if you do have the proper bankroll, yes, you can overcome them. You can, if you lose, then you can ladder them up, and you can ladder them up, and you can ladder them up. But the problem is that once you start doing that, and you're on a specific budget, it's very difficult for you to continue at that pace without having a really bad day potentially. So
Mhm.
these systems that are doing the don't pass, if you really look at the math of it, what happens on the come out? You lose to a 7 and 11. Happens a lot of times. So you're giving yourself an opportunity to lose on the come out, and then you're creating a point, and now it's at the very beginning of the person's roll. So the whole time that they're rolling, the thing that's going through the back of your mind is please don't throw the six, please don't throw the six, and the point was the
Mhm.
six. So it's just very difficult again to make a living if you're always using the don't pass and the DC and things like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's not something that you want to focus on doing if you're really trying to win in this game.
All right. Yeah, that's a good answer. Another question is, what's the difference? I know you mentioned there's a difference in your results playing at home or at the casino. I know you said there's a big
Yeah,
difference between the casino and at home. Can you elaborate more about that?
yeah, absolutely. And what I'm referring to there is the dice itself. So my calculations and my data. from me being at the casino all the time. And remember, guys, I'm not like a lot of you guys through the years. Some of the people that don't watch me all the time, they'll make comments about, oh, you always play at home and you always win. Let me see you do that at the casino. Well, what these people don't realize is I'm playing with probably $50,000 a week of gambling. Like sometimes I buy them from 5,000, sometimes 10,000, sometimes only 2,000. It just depends on what I'm trying to accomplish that day. So when I'm playing craps, I'm on that table, at least 15, 20 hours a week, at least.
That's
So,
a lot of money, Jimmy. 10,000 buy-in. Oh my goodness, that's my whole year for me. I'm a low
well,
roller.
again, you have to understand it depends. So if I was with you, because, and matter of fact, I still owe you 2,000 when we play together. Okay, I promised you I'd give you $2,000 to play.
Wow,
Uh,
you just said it on. We got like almost a hundred,
we got a lot
hundred
of witnesses.
people. Yeah,
Well,
watching. So
I'll tell you the story. A long time ago, when I first was talking to Brian and I met him, I was like,
yeah,
"Yeah, we'll play together, and I'll give you $2,000 so you can play."
yeah.
Now the deal is though, if you lose, you don't owe anything. Okay, you don't
Uh,
owe any money. But if you win, you only get to keep the profit. You got to give me back the $2,000.
okay. Wow.
So,
Hey,
but let me
10K
answer.
buy-in.
Hold on.
I would
Yeah,
say that's
let me
above
answer.
the.
Let me answer two things if you don't mind.
Yeah,
The
go ahead.
first one was I just want to make sure we stay on track because I got the 10K buy-in. I'm going to explain that in a minute, but
Yeah.
I do want to finish explaining about the dice because you
Okay.
asked
Oh yeah,
me.
yeah, 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 yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you asked me the difference of the home. It's
Or
not
the yeah.
about it's not about your home table, and it's not the fact it's the same game, same numbers. You got dice. It's the same game. The difference is that we use painted dice. Okay, painted on dice. So with the dice casino, those dice are drilled and they're filled with I'm assuming it's like an epoxy. I'm not, I don't know the scientist. I mean, I don't know what it actually is of the material. I'm just assuming it's epoxy. But whatever material it is that they fill, they claim that what they do is they get the correct weight perfectly on every single side. Because if you take painted dice and you have a 6 and you have a 1, you have more paint on the side of the 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm not saying that there's a huge difference in the weight, but technically you do have more material on that side, right? Versus the 1. So um, now with the filled die, when they drill the holes of the dice at the casino, I'm telling you from experience, and the data does not lie, you are going to have a higher ratio of sevens at the casino, period. And I know what those calculations are. At
Wait.
home,
But the dice aren't drilled until after they take it off the table.
no, I'm talking about the actual dots. Those are
Oh,
filled
okay.
in.
Uh huh.
So they're drilling into those dice and filling them with epoxy to make the number.
Okay.
You
It
with me?
should be. It should be weighted correctly. I get my
No,
casino grade dice. Yeah.
no. What I'm saying is that I'm not disputing that they're not weighed correctly. I'm not accusing the casino of purposely making the dice heavier for the 7. What
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying is that they have the math in their favor based on the weight of those dice and the way those dice function. So those dice will roll up around almost a 20% ratio when the game is 16.66% or 16.67%, something like that, right? We all know that. For each
Mm-hmm.
roll, it's supposed to be 1/7 every 6 roll. So that's 5 good rolls and 1 bad roll. So if you go to a casino, you're going to have more like 4 good rolls, 1 bad roll, 5 good rolls, 1 bad rolls, 4 good rolls, bad. You're going to have a higher ratio where you're going to see those sevens more. So you get into situations where um, on your home dice and when you're throwing your home dice. And another thing too is that we reuse our dice over and over on our home tables. So when we're rolling this out, those dice get worn and worn and worn. A casino is using brand new crisp dice that are sharp, and those dice are only being used for like 4 to 5 hours. That's it. and then they have new
Mm.
dice. So it makes it gives the casino 3 to 4% better advantage. So it doesn't mean that you're not going to still be able to beat them. It's just something that you have to be more wary of
But
when you're
wouldn't you say equally that could give even more sevens as well when it's weighted a certain way because of the dice combinations?
Could you repeat that? Say that again.
Wouldn't you fairly say that it could equally avoid the sevens if it's what you stated that it could be weighted differently? I mean, the seven combinations could come less, correct?
Well, listen, listen. I've spent on a table where I literally was a part. We everybody on the table made over $5,000, and I was a part of a miracle. I mean, the guy rolled 110 rolls. He didn't even roll a seven when he hit the point on the come out. Every time he hit a point, you know how sometimes they'll roll the seven on the come out and the guy's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
shooting? He
Hmm.
didn't even throw a seven on the come out. We're talking 110 rolls without a seven. So that goes to show you, like those dice, it doesn't mean that they're going to just land on a seven. I'm just
Yeah.
saying if you calculate it, it's really more about the calculation is what matters. Because the ratio is the ratio. If you're consistently having a better result at home on the seven calculations, and then you go to the casino and you're
Hmm.
seeing more sevens all the time. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. You don't just like if you're on your home game and you're just like so easy, you're winning $2,000 every single time. There's several reasons why. Number one is because you're playing with fake money and you have no fear, and you're just going up the ladder and you don't care and you're just betting big, and then boom, you come back down. You know what I mean? And you made your money back.
Hmm.
A lot of the people, when they get on that craps table and it's their real money, everything changes. They're like, oh crap, I'm supposed to go up to $350 a number here. And they put the brakes on real quick. You know what I mean? So you have to treat it like it's fake money. You have to still go through the same thing. But that's all I'm saying. It's about a
Yeah.
3 to 4% difference in favor of the casino.
Okay. So go to your 10,000 buy-in. Take us through what's your play like when you buy in at 10,000. What is your goal? When you do buy in 10,000? What is your average layout on there, and what is your percentage you're trying to win before you get off that table with that amount of money?
Yeah,
That's a
that
lot of money, Jimmy.
it's not. It's like anything
For
else
me,
in
it
life.
is.
Well, it's not because you get used to it. Okay, you have to understand. I've been self-employed since I was 17. Okay, I've always had my own business. I've always invested. Like when I buy stocks really big. So for me to make 4, 5, 6, $7,000 a day, I'm used to doing that. So everybody has
Mhm.
different levels in life that they're at.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're like John Coco says. You're like Bluff because Bluff 10,000 is there. It doesn't even flinch him anymore. You know who Bluff
yeah,
is?
yeah.
Yeah.
Bluff makes about $80,000 a month from his
Uh huh.
YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So he might lose. And a matter of fact, that you talked about Bluff, I'll tell you something about him. Not getting too far. Let me answer the question first, and then I'll
Oh
tell
yeah,
you
yeah,
something
yeah.
about.
The 10,000. How do you play out your 10,000? Your goal and
Yeah.
your yeah.
All
Sorry.
right. So no, that's totally fine. The $10,000, guys, doesn't mean that just because I buy in for $10,000, it doesn't mean that I'm trying to bet really big. The only purpose of the $10,000 there is as an investor. So I'm giving myself a much better chance of winning my goal by having that behind me because of the time and the effort I put into practice. So the more that I practice and the different things that I do, and also you guys have to understand that out of all of the 3 years or 4 years that I've been doing this, all of those strategies, I've done all of the testing and the experience of what they accomplish. So I boiled it all the way down to where I'm only playing 2 to 3 different ways. That's the only way
Mhm.
that I play this game. Why would I want to play any other way when I know that those 3 ways give me the highest percentage chance of winning? So I focus on those ways, and it's just I know from experience that I can overcome. So if I get down $2,000, it doesn't phase me. Um, it sucks. We all don't want to lose money, but I always can overcome it. Like 20 out of 21 times, I'm going to overcome it. So um,
What are
the
you trying to overcome with the ten thousand
my
dollar
level
bankroll?
of my bet sizing depends on what my goal is of what I'm trying to get off the table. So if my mind frame there, if I go there with 10 grand and my mind
Mm-hmm.
frame is I'm going to just win 10%, $1,000. That's realistic. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody's goal out there should be 10 to 15% and get the hell off the table. Okay. Period. You should not be
Mm-hmm.
trying to win 100%, 50%, 10 to 20% max. So if my percent, and the higher you buy in for, the lower that percent should be. So
Mm-hmm.
if my goal is $1,000, it's hard for me to accomplish that goal if I'm starting off with a quarter on quarter bets. But even if I do, the only reason why that I'm doing that is to protect myself, to give myself more losses to the seven so I can overcome it. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
go up to the next level, to the next level. I mean, you see someone like Waylon and myself, we use ladder systems, okay?
Yeah.
We're very similar in the way that we play, but he's more of a don't pass type of person. And shout out to you, Waylon. I don't have anything bad ever that I thought about you guys, about you. I think you're a wonderful person, and I wish you nothing but the best. I don't have a lot of people think I have something against Waylon, but I don't. Um,
Hey
so
Jimmy, before we get off that subject about the buy-in, so uh, John Cocos from Casino Gaming Central says he wants to get more specific. What is your buy-in exact strategy and win rate that's averaging you 1,500 per day, 365 days to make 500K per year? Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I said, I have 3 to 4 ways that I play. Okay. There's one way that I play that you are not beating me in this game, and that is my navigation way. The navigation is I can teach it to you, I can show it to you, but it's just comes from a lot of intuition and playing the game consistently. But I can give you an idea of what it's based around. So, for example, me and you were at the craps table and you're just watching me, you're next to me, and you don't see me doing anything. You're just like, this guy ain't even playing. And I'm just sitting there with 10 grand and I'm just watching the game. But what I'm doing is I'm a master at counting every single number, and I do not need a pen or paper. I can tell you when the last five came. I can tell you when the last six came. I can tell you when the last 10 came. So I count every single roll, and I know exactly what number roll that they're on. I know how many times the fours hit. I know how many times the fives hit. So what I'm doing is one of the strongest systems that you could possibly do to help people out there right now is to focus on the 6 and 8 and the inside with the 5 and the 9. We all know that those are the best numbers to play in craps. But what you want to do is you want to do
Mhm.
those numbers when the math is the strongest. So we all know that sixes and eights will roll one out of every one out of every seven rolls. Uh, yeah, right. One out of every
Mhm.
7.2. So we know that the 5 and 9 will roll one out of nine. So what we want to do is we want to wait 6 rolls where you don't see a 6 and 8. 6 rolls without seeing a 6 and 8. When you don't have a 6 and 8, you want to come in on your first level. Okay. Then when you hit a 6 or an 8, you can go ahead and use those profits to go to the 5 and the 9.
To
You
spread out.
don't You can spread it out, but you
Yeah.
don't have to. You don't have to. And you certainly don't want to really spread out when you're down and you're behind. So
It,
there's so many other factors
yeah.
to it. But
It sounds
you want
similar to DGE. Have you ever watched his channel, Drunk Guy Explains? Uh,
I've heard of him. I haven't really watched him, but I have
yeah.
heard because he has a funny name.
He has he does a lot of buy-ins. I mean, he asked for $100,000 marker, but he does wait for trends before jumping in betting. So he'll say, there was four, a seven hasn't come for this long, then he'll jump in. Is that what you would say is similar to your kind of strategy, your
Yeah,
navigation strategy?
yeah. So yeah, I'm using the power of my money, and I'm using the math. I'm using every time I play the game, I'm using the math against the casino, because the whole game is a math game, and you just have to
Hmm.
be smart to stay on pace. You can't just go off and drift off and just start doing silly bets and going back to your own ways of playing. If you're a
Hmm.
losing player, if you're a losing player, you have to change. So, so for example, if I know that the five hasn't rolled in 18 rolls, you can be sure that I'm going to always be including that five. So if that five, and the more that it keeps going, the bigger my bet size continues to go up. So if I
Hmm.
have only a quarter on the five, and I still haven't seen the five more rolls later, and it's at 22 rolls, I'm going to say put $75 on the five. If I get picked off, I'm
Yeah.
going to put 150 on the five.
Right.
So, but I don't want to rely where I'm going just the five against the seven. I still
Yeah.
want to use math of having. I like to have three numbers, but I don't like to go too crazy and have all the numbers, because if you have all
So
the
Jimmy, just like you used to play roulette, and they always display the history, right? Like there wasn't a red in the last 20 rolls. It's got to be a red. Would you say that's similar to your navigation strategy, or is there a difference between that two?
there's a difference.
Casinos want people to see the history because of that type of mindset.
Yeah, no,
Is
it's a difference. It's a difference because you got two completely different games. Because those dice, when you're playing with these dice, and you're so used to and so experienced of playing, could you have a five go 50 rolls without hitting? Yeah, it's possible. But once again, we're not just depending on the five to make our money. Okay. So the
Mhm.
five is just something that we're attacking and we're willing to keep going up on until it hits. Okay. So everything's based on calculating how much I'm down, if I'm up, if I'm down. A lot of times I like to play to a profit. So if I'm making money, and I'm up, let's say $350 or something like that, I'm going to take risk and put $200 on a hard four and a hard 10. I'm going to do things like that because if I hit a hard four or hard 10, I'm less likely to lose from rolling the four or the 10 because there's only two ways. You get the 2-2 and you get the
Mhm.
3-1, right?
Right.
But with the six and the eight and the six and the eight, it's more difficult because you're going to get easy sixes and eights a lot to take your $200. So there's too much of a risk there. You're better off with the
Mhm.
four and the 10. It's fine if you want to throw, if you have 200 and 200 on there, you could throw $100 on the four, $100 on the 10 as well. That way, if it
Mhm.
is one, you at least break even. So the bottom line is you have to realize that I'm in a situation where I don't need the $400. If I needed the $400 for my profit, I'm going to take it. And if
Mhm.
I'm trying to build a bankroll. So
Mhm.
when you get to a certain level, or you're used to winning $1,500, $2,000 a day, you can afford to take that 400 in profit and go 200, 200 on there. Because if you hit one, you're getting $1,400 plus you get to keep the
Yeah.
money that you were up.
Yeah,
So
I think I see a different your style of play. Um, and which category do you? Because there's several ways of making big money, serious money on the craps table. Either you hit the bonus, the ATS bonus, you hit a hard way parlay, or it's just go through a monstrous roll where you're pressing all the way to the max. But your type of strategy seems to not fit all of that. It's more of like a take your shots when you have a calculated data on the table and go big and take a quick hit and win and then leave. Am I
yeah,
analyzing
yeah.
it correctly? Is that what
Yeah,
you
you're
do?
right. You're right
Yeah.
on the button. That is exactly
Yeah.
right because I do not play this game for the long rolls. I don't play for the long rolls. That's why I don't really need to be this perfect professional shooter. I don't even believe in that.
Hmm.
But I'm not trying to put down the people that practice shooting because I did it for 3 straight years, but it was a waste of my time. I'm not seeing any mathematical difference of when I roll randomly or I roll with my dice set. I think sometimes that it's me, but it's just the
Hmm.
numbers not going to a seven. Um, So I don't depend on that. I don't need a professional dice shooter to make my money. I'm going to make my money regardless. I'm going to make my money whether I see a lot of sevens or I don't, because
Mhm.
I'm looking to get those bigger hits. I like to do exactly what you said. I like to do. My favorite systems are. I have a system called the Survivor, or you could call it the Solo, and it's with one hit. A lot of times, last year when I made the majority of my money, I was putting $500 on every single number, and I would get one hit. And if I hit the 4 or 10, I'd get 1,000. If I'd hit the 5 or 7 or 5 or 9, I'd get 700 on one roll. I would
Mhm.
immediately come down, and then I know it sounds scary, but I wasn't doing the point, so it was really 2,500 across. Okay, but it's
Uh-huh.
still scary. It's very scary. But I only would do it when I was shooting the dice. And all of you guys out there that shoot the dice and you get into a rhythm, you know when you got that touch. You know when you're feeling it, right, Brian?
Mhm.
Sometimes you
Mhm.
feel that groove that you get into. That's when you want to go for that one big hit when you're feeling invincible. You get the hit, and now you don't have to put out any more money for the rest of the game. Your money is safe, and now you can
Sometimes
turn.
I go for the big hit and I look for that just one more and I screw myself, you know?
Yeah, well, it can happen. But there's a lot of things that you have to evaluate. So for example, I wrote down too.
Yeah.
When I say that I do that, you have to understand I would only be willing to do that if I'm up $10,000 for the month. If I'm up ten
Mhm.
thousand dollars for the month, then I'm more comfortable, about doing that. If I'm up, $20,000, like the month that I had right now for this month, I'm not gonna. You think I'm gonna care about putting $500 on six numbers, or actually, it's really five numbers?
Yeah.
But everything is a mathematical calculation. If you put $500 on every number in traditional craps, you only have a 66% chance of hitting one of your numbers. Because if you roll a 2, a 3, an 11, a 12, you didn't make any money. You took a $2,500 risk, right?
Mhm.
Well, actually, $3,000 risk because you're on every number, and you have a 66% chance of hitting that. Now, great, if you hit it, that's the goal. But if you don't hit it, then you got to come down because
So so what having said that, so what are your thoughts on the crapless craps tables? Do you even play that or
yeah,
you
I love it. I
you know,
like that better. I
the
know I know
crapless
a
crap?
lot of people. Yeah, I like it better. But it depends on what strategy I'm trying to play. So if I want to go and play one of my favorite other strategies to play is the 6-8 and the 5 and the 9, the inside, and lay the 10
Mhm.
and try to get one hit and come down. You there, Brian?
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. You did the
I'm just
invisible.
checking out the chats over here too, making sure it's
So
going through.
I love to lay the fours and the tens. I prefer to use the fours and the tens for my defense instead of doing don't passes. Why would I want to stay with a don't pass that I could lose on the come out? I can lose on any random roll. I'm staying out there too long with those don't passes. But with the
Mhm.
four, I'm only looking for the one hit and I'm off of it. So it's only a protector for one time. If I get picked off on it, I'm only doing the first level maybe at $200 on a no four, and doing 50 on the 5, 50 on the 9, 60, 60 on the 6-8. And yes, I'm going to lose a little bit of money on the 7, but it's all calculated based on what my next bets are going to be, you know?
So
So,
you don't so you now you never play all the numbers across now. It's
oh,
just
yeah, I
one
do.
number.
I do.
Oh, you do?
I have a system like that.
Okay.
There are those type of ways. I use those type of ways to get up quickly when I'm feeling it on my groove of shooting. If I'm feeling the groove of my shooting, you're going to see me throw 500 on every single number. And I'm going to, obviously I hope to hit a 4 or 10, but I would
Mhm.
settle with a 5 or a 9 because I'm going to get $700 on one roll. And
Yeah.
now you're going to see me immediately come down. And now I can take that $700 and I could go ahead and wait six rolls without seeing a 6 and 8. I could go 30 and 30 on the 6-8. If I get one hit, I can expand that to the 5 and the 9. I could go ahead and get one more hit, pull it down. That's another $70 that I just
Mhm.
made. Then you just keep building it up and building it up until you hit your goal. Now
Yeah.
the math, you have to calculate the math. Do I recommend people going and putting $500 on every number in the crap list. I do it. The reason why that I
Mhm.
do it, I don't do it where I do it every single day, but I do it because look, if I roll a 2 or a 12 by luck on the first roll,
Mhm.
I get $3,000 for one roll. Okay, $3,000. If I hit the 3 or the 11, I get $1,500. And then
Yeah.
boom, I'm down and I'm out the
Yeah.
door. Right, everybody's sitting there grinding $500 to $1,000, and they don't even have enough money to bail
Mm.
themselves out when they get into trouble. The number
Right.
one reason that people
Yeah.
lose in craps is because they don't have enough bankroll. They're staying up too long. They're not building small dollar amounts and building them up, and then they're not taking profits and going for the big hits.
Yeah.
Hop
Hey,
bets, another big way to make money.
Jimmy, people are asking, do you have win-loss statements from the casino?
Well, of course, you have to file your taxes. I
Right.
get a, I get listen. I get a lot of that type of stuff, and I ignore it because I'm not in business to prove anything to anybody. I really don't care what other people think. I don't. My job is not to impress you or
Mhm.
to prove what I say. You either believe me or you don't. But
Mhm.
I've dealt with that for people. Always ask me those stupid questions sometimes.
That's a lot of, yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people are asking,
It's a
so I just
stupid
put
question.
it up there. So,
It's somebody that's questioning my whether it's true or they're not, and that's totally fine. That's your business. And if you don't believe me, you don't have to
yeah.
believe me.
So Jimmy, you're offering lessons, I think, or classes um that people can purchase. What can they expect out of that? Would you say, if I took your class, or any random person takes your class, they could make, as if, and they have the same kind of bankroll as you could turn them into a successful winning craps player as yourself?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that they're going to win just because they take some of the training or some of the strategies. You know, people have a better chance to win in baccarat than craps. They have that's
Okay.
a fact. You have a better chance to win in baccarat than you do craps. So anybody that's out there that wanted to be a professional gambler, I'm going to bring them to my baccarat training more than my craps training. Craps is a
Mhm.
lot of fun. We love the game of craps, and you can be very successful. It's a big difference. So I'll give you. Here's the difference. This is the total difference between these two games. If I'm on a craps table and I put $500, or no matter how I'm playing, let's say I just go with four or five numbers, and I ladder them up and the seven comes. I start off with $100 and I get picked off. I go to $250 and I get picked off. And then I go to $500. Okay.
Mhm.
What's happening is that I'm vulnerable to the best number that rolls the most, right, on any given roll. So I'm vulnerable. I mean, it's only 16%, 17% chance that I'm going to lose. I'm like 86% chance that I'm going to get a hit if I'm on all the numbers, and that's
Mhm.
it. That's based on a crap list. If I'm on traditional, it's only 67%. So the bottom line is that there's a high percentage chance that I am going to get a hit, but you have to, as a business person, you have to calculate the math. What am I actually doing here? Is this worth it for me? Do I want to risk $3,000? And it's even more money if it's on the crap list table. But do I want to risk this just to make $700 on one roll? Is that worth it? But I could win 3,000 if it's a 2 or a 12, or 1,500 if it's a 3 or an 11. So there is a little bit bigger. You have to do the math, the average.
Mhm.
So instead of me saying $700, the average on crapless might be $1,000 average. So I'm risking a lot of money to get $1,000, right? If I go to a baccarat and I have a 50%, basically a 50% math, and I go up and I put $200 on one side and I lose, and then I go $400 and I lose, and then I go $700 and I win. I'm taking less risk and I'm still winning. Now I don't teach pure martingale. I don't just keep going up and up and up and up, whether it's craps or baccarat. I don't do that. I stop after three martingale. I do not do more than three martingale. Then I go into a 50% of your loss bet. So if I'm down 2 grand. And I've lost 3 martingales in a row on a baccarat table.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a 50% bet. So I'm gonna go down. My bet's gonna be 1,000. If I lose that, now I'm down 3,000. What am I gonna do then?
Right.
I'm gonna refresh it and start all over, and I'm gonna start back at a little higher than my first bet was. So if
I
my
think
first
we're losing some of the guys. A lot of them don't know Baccarat. That's why on this channel.
got you, got
Yeah.
you.
So they yeah, and I don't know it either, so I can't really
Yeah,
follow.
yeah, no problem. We'll stick to craps. Your topic said
Yeah,
craps.
I'm a crabs channel, so
I know you are.
you know, first of all, I want to apologize to the chat. A lot of you, there's a lot of chats going on. I can't catch them all. There's no way, but it's pretty crazy. I never had so many comments before. Um, but right now it's been an hour. Can you believe that, Jimmy?
No, it feels like
Uh,
20 minutes.
we're gonna go ahead and open from here all your questions and comments that you want Jimmy to answer for the next 20 minutes. So get your questions out here. Then that way I can monitor them. I've been trying to do both. It's really hard to do. So put a Q on there, and this stuff is entertaining, says F Sue. Um, yeah. All right. Nobody has a Q so far. There were so much questions, but
Well, I'll say something while he's looking. For those of you guys out there that like to do pass lining, and a lot of times you hear all these things about the pass line and you put odds on the pass line that it's the smartest, the best odds in the casino. You get that? You hear people say that, right, Brian?
the best odds is the past line odds.
I'm not saying that. That's what everybody assumes.
Oh, I don't even play
everybody
that
out there
unless.
everybody out there debates about the pass line or the don't pass and you put odds on it. Yeah, don't do
Yeah,
that. Don't ever
I
even
don't put.
play it. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't put odds unless I'm shooting, and then I'll bring down that point number.
yeah, okay.
That's the only thing. Yeah, I don't even play the past line if I'm not shooting.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, yeah.
That's smart because the what you guys don't understand is that rumor, or it's not a rumor, but the reason why that people say that is that they're only calculating the actual odds of the bet. They're not
Yeah,
calculating. They
the
forget
flat
to
bet.
tell you what the odds are for you to win the bet. that's
Yeah,
that's what it should matter.
yeah.
What you're doing is you're signing up for a contract up front to say, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
go against the best number, which is the 7, and I'm going to bet before I even know what the point is. It could be a 4 for all I know. It could be a 10. I'm going
Yeah.
to put this contract bet down, and then it's going to be a 9 rolls. And now you have to
Mm-hmm.
hit the 9 again before you're even
Right.
paid one time. So
Yeah.
don't do that.
Okay, here's a question for you, Jimmy. Which casinos do you like to play at? We're
I'm
gonna
Tampa Hard Rock.
speed
I'm
through
Tampa Hard Rock, man.
Tampa Hard Rock.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna be in Sacramento Hard Rock on Thursday, and I will be in Vegas on Halloween in the first.
Okay. Halloween on the first.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Uh,
I have training, private training out there. I'm doing.
what happened to all of my start comments? Okay, here. Uh, why?
I can't. Oh, I see the comments over here.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta. I'm just going through all the comments here. There was just so much going off. I couldn't even get quit. Okay, here's a question. Jimmy, you're really only describing small, grindy strategies. It's not possible to win 5K a week. That way, 5K times 52 is 250K a year.
Yeah, I disagree. Because he does. He's referring to if you're starting with quarters. You know,
Hmm.
when you're going to win a certain amount of money on one roll, I can make $1,000 if I hit with the 500 across. Or I might do my navigation system where my 5 might be $500 on it, and my 9 might be $500 on it, and my 6 and 8 might be 250. And then what happens? I'm big for pressing. I'm a big presser, but not long-term presser. So if I get a hit, let's say on the 5 or the 9, and that pays me $700, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down and I'm going to take some. I'm going to go for some big hits sometimes with that profit. I might do a 4 and a 10 for 500 each with that profit. And then if I get a hit, it's $1,000 plus I keep the 700, $1,700 right there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you have to make moves, and it's not like you're just going to go 25, 25, 30, 30. It doesn't stay at those levels.
Okay. So you press up to get about a 5K winning goal before you leave the casino?
No, because
No.
my goal is not $5,000 in a day. I only need, if I make $1,000 a day, and if I chose to go to the casino every day, which I don't, I go maybe
Yeah.
4 days a week.
Well,
And
that's
you
what
have,
Justice Jen is trying to say. You got to make 5K a week to make 250,000 a year.
yeah, a week. I'm talking a
Yeah.
day. If I play a
Oh, okay.
day,
So you make a thousand a
minimum,
day, and then you split.
minimum. I make a
Yeah,
thousand dollars a
minimum.
day. My average this month is almost 2,000 a day.
Okay.
So
Another question,
I'm
so we
always
can go
happy at
to
a
the.
thousand.
Okay. All right. We're gonna try and answer these as quickly. Please explain why you said this is from Crab's Master Journey. He has his YouTube channel.
Joe,
Uh,
right?
yeah. Please explain why you said you don't believe in dice control, but you
Uh,
only bet big when you are throwing the dice.
Uh, I don't know. The reason why I say that I only bet big when I'm throwing the dice is because when I'm feeling like a groove, okay, and I don't want to lose in the hands of somebody else. If I'm going to lose, I want to blame it on me. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm betting big to where I can wait my turn. And a lot of times I play at times where I'm the only one on the table. So I prefer to play with myself, or maybe there's one more
Mm-hmm.
person. So I go at certain times. Now, a lot of the guys at my local casino, they know who I am and they see me, and they see me. And if you ever see me on the table and I only have $2,000, you know that I'm there to hang out and get a cigar and go to the buffet, because I get a lot of comps too. So I'm just there to
Mm-hmm.
have a good time. I'm at the point in my life, guys, that I don't need to make my money from gambling anymore. I make a lot of money in stocks and crypto. I have a stock channel called Stock Market Jimmy that's new, and but at the same time, I do well in gambling. I do
Yeah.
really well between those two games. So,
Jimmy,
but
Bam
I
has
don't
a
have pressure.
question for you.
I don't have pressure.
Okay, he says, when you lose 1,000 on the 5 and 9 with the 7, what's the next bet?
If I lose when I know that the 5 or 9 are due and they haven't hit in a while, I'm
No,
gonna put.
if you lost on the 5 and 9 when a 7 comes, what's your next bet after that?
If it was 500 and I lost 1,000, is that your
Well,
question?
you had 1,000 on the 5 and 9, and you lose. Oh yeah, 500 each on the 5 and 9, and a 7 comes, you lose 1,000. What is your next? I guess your betting progression after that, your
Yeah.
ladder.
Well, yeah. Well, the first thing is that if I wouldn't just manually put the 500 on the 5 and the 9 just out of the blue. So everything that I do is in steps of how the session is going. So I like
Mm-hmm.
I'm my best advice is to get up in profits and then use those profits to do those type of bets. I'm not
Okay.
into using my own money. I want to use the casino's money. So the only time that you're going to see me put that much money out on numbers or something like that is if I'm already up 10,000 for the week, and I don't mind trying to take that quick hit to get, because sometimes you can get hot, guys, where you're up 10 grand for the week and you put 500 across on a crapless table, and you remember
Yeah.
you're 86% favored. So, but to
So
answer his question, I'll refer to it this way: if my numbers were that big, it was either because I was up a lot in profit, or I was getting picked off over and over where my levels brought me up that high, and then the answer would be $1,000 each. That would be my answer.
Okay. So I got a question with your betting style. So you have 10,000 at the table. You're pop shotting which number you think is calculated to be the best bet on there. But you're putting 500 or 250 on there, trying to get a hit and then play with profits. Why would you need a $10,000 bankroll if you don't feel like you're ever going to risk it at? Why wouldn't 5,000 be efficient, or 3,000? Why the 10,000?
First of all, I have small stack syndrome. I don't. I really do, guys. I have small. I really do. I've always been
Is
that
that a
way, and
thing? Is that a true
it
thing?
really is. I have small stack syndrome. We should get a T-shirt, guys, that says "small stack syndrome." It started from me
I'll
being a
give one to Jen.
hey, it started off because of my poker. When I was playing poker, every time I get a small stack, man, I just didn't feel right. So the first thing is that I really don't want to say that I'm not going to risk it, because that's not true at all. I have no fear and no problem of losing $10,000 on a craps table. I don't want to lose $10,000. Have I lost 10,000? I've lost $10,000 in 20 minutes before. That's the truth. So um,
Hmm.
it happens, but it doesn't matter to me, because what I care about is my year to date and my month. I care about how I'm doing for the month or the week, and I base all my decisions based on how much I'm up. If I'm not up a lot, I'm grinding low. I'm grinding smaller. I'm starting with 25 across. I'm going to 50. I'm going to 120. I'm grinding. I'm getting one or two hits. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm playing at a
Hmm.
high win rate where I'm using math. I'm 86% favored on a crapless table to get one hit. I'm 68% on a traditional to get one hit. And that just means that I'm coming down after one hit, or I'm coming down if it's a 2, 11, or a 12, or a 3. People don't do that. You don't see anybody
Hmm.
play like that. If you
Right.
don't play like that, you're every time that you roll that dice, you're in jeopardy of losing all that money, because
Yeah.
you got to just be patient, and you have to play the
But
math correctly.
you there's some truth to that. Having the big bankroll gives you more confidence, I would say. Uh, I call that personally like a security blanket. You know how
Yeah,
you have a security blanket? It's like I don't really need it, but I'm more confident if I have it. And and I see normally people who buy in that much, they normally don't use it anyways, but it's there as a security blanket for them to be fearless if needed. It's
yeah. You
there.
can you can use the 5,000, like you said. Yes, I could use 5,000. There's times that I only buy them for 5,000. There, like I said, there's sometimes I only buy them for $2,000 if I'm just there to win $300, $400, and I just want to have a good time. I don't want any stress. I just want to go get a free buffet. I just want to win $400 or $500, and I just want to have fun with the people playing. I don't
Hmm.
have any stress. I'll bet on a random roller at those points. But the
Right.
thing is that when you say that you don't really ever need it, and you think it's a lot, it's not to me. Because I'm not saying that I don't think 10,000 is a lot of money. I'm saying that you'll be surprised how fast that you can actually get yourself up. If you get down 2,500, you need those money and to go up at those certain levels. I don't know if you ever seen my system that's called deflation, but if you watch me play deflation, guys, or you watch me play inflation. I have inflation and deflation. Check out those videos. If you want
Hmm.
to see me win a lot of money, watch those videos. I mean,
Hmm.
those videos can make you so much money if you got the balls and you got the bankroll. I mean, I was averaging live, and I played live. You could go watch all those videos. All my videos are live. I don't re-record my videos. And yes, it's painted dice. I give you that. But the bottom line is when you watch the way that game works out on those strategies, you can make $37,000 in 1 hour playing those strategies. That's a fact. You can go and watch those videos.
Is that with like a what kind of bankroll you need for him to
ten
make
thousand.
37,000?
I
Ten
well,
thousand.
when I played those, that's not true, because some of the ones I bought in for 50,000. That's not true. But it's just because of the level that I was playing on the dollar amounts. Okay, you don't have to, like, you could do it with 10,000, but with 10,000, you literally can have a bad day where you lose 10,000 fast on that system. But I told everybody, look, if you're winning 60,000 a month and you have two sessions that you lose 10,000 each one, you still made 40,000 for the month.
Yeah, but you better not lose the 10,000 in the first session.
If you don't have, you shouldn't be playing that system if you only got $10,000. If you're playing with $10,000 and you're willing to lose it, you better have at least about 400,000 in the bank.
Craps Master Journey Joe says, "Where do you buy painted dice?"
Well, isn't it? Tell him I said hi. By the way, hello. That's Joe, right?
Joe, yeah, that's Joe, Craps
Joe.
Master Journey. Yeah.
Joey, I think you're a really good guy. I've always liked him. Okay, I've always liked that guy because he's a true fan of the game, and I have so much respect for him. Just a wonderful person. I can just tell who good. Like, you're a good person too, Brian. And that's why I'm doing this interview, because I really like good people, man. Like, good-hearted people. I just really appreciate good people, man. Because there's too many evil people in this world, dude. I can't stand evil people.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Question from John Cocos. What are the table limits in Tampa Hard Rock? Most tribals are $500. How does Jimmy handle when his laddering system requires a more than $500 bet? That's a
Oh
good
yeah,
question.
yeah. Now, is that John from his own craps thing?
From Pro Craps. Yeah.
Pro Craps. That's
Yeah.
another good guy right there. John, we have a lot of really good max. We can go really high. And if they give me a private table, I could go even higher. And I have a story for you. I did have a private table, and they banned me from playing on that private table because I worked something out with them that they regretted, and they did not like the way that was going. That was for like 8 sessions. I had a $50,000 minimum buy-in on a private table. They had it in the back of the baccarat room at the time, and I did 9 sessions with them. And I had the maximum bets that I juiced up real high, plus the hot bets, and they accepted it. And then once they realized that it was really hurting them, they were like, "We can't do this no more." But on the regular table, which is the ones that I always play at now, those tables are $2,500 max bet per number, $500 on the hops max.
Mm-hmm.
If it's on a crap list, it's 500 on the 2, 12, 11, and the 3, but 2,500 on every other number.
All right. I guess that's all the questions so far. All right. We'll sum it up here, Jimmy. Why do you think after all of this you are the craps goat?
Yeah, your title was why he thinks why he calls himself the GOAT. That should have been why, or that should have been why he is the GOAT.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay.
All right.
Summarize with everything you hear. You said.
Okay. All right. First of all, it's not like craps is where I'm Michael Jordan. Let's all understand that.
What? That's the GOAT. Jordan.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT, but I'm saying that craps, anybody can be good. Anybody could be good. The more that you put into it, the more that you learn from it, the more that you get experience from it, the more that you practice, the more that you just focus on building a bankroll. Anybody can be good. I have a saying. You may not be as good as me, but you can be as good as me if you copy me. And that's the truth. It's the truth. If you want to be as good as me, or you want to try to beat me, you got to copy me. Because I can tell you right now that the way that people play the game, 95% of you lose because you're playing it wrong. It's just a fact. If you're not successful in craps, it's because the way you're playing the game. And you can't just keep repeating it. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over, because the casino's always going to beat you, or they're going to beat you 50-50 of the time. So the reason why I say that I'm the best craps player in the world is because I've learned from my mistakes, and I'm smart enough to figure out how to beat the game. The way that I play, and the way that, if you guys literally, if every one of you that have watched this me play, or you watch this video, if all of you could watch me play navigation on my own, and you just watch me play for like an hour, there's not one of you that would not say that I'm the GOAT in craps. And that's just the truth. Because I will not be able to be beat when I play that way. It's impossible to beat me. It just comes from so much intuition and experience that I'm almost able to predict what's coming. And I've always had that kind of gift when it comes to intuition of the game.
Nice, nice. So,
Yeah.
how is your classes going? Do you have any testimonials coming from your students that are following you and trying to be learning from the goat and
Yeah.
make some money from your
Yeah.
classes?
Yes. First, for all the people out there that a lot of the people from my channel might be watching, but the people who supported me, I can't thank them enough. They're just, I have such incredible people that I was able to get over the last 2 years of building this channel. I'm a small channel, and I have a lot of things that I'm going to be doing with YouTube that have nothing to do with craps. But the people who support me are the people who get my craps strategies. A lot of the people have got my crap strategies. I have tons of letters and emails that I get from them, but my number one supporters are my baccarat players.
Mm. So
It's not
if
even. It's not even close. It's not even close.
so the you were saying more, it's going to be more of the strategies you have in your classes that they learn, and the habits and all that that comes with it that makes them would make them successful. That's what I mean. That's
Yeah,
why they should take the
when
class.
the people watch my craps strategies that are private, and remember, all of my strategies that were on my website. I mean, I'm sorry, all my strategies that were on Gamble with Jimmy have been removed. I remove all my top strategies every
Why
60
did
days
you remove it?
because I don't want people seeing them. My my products are on private access only.
Oh, okay.
My like if you took every single craps player or every single craps channel, your channel, and you have double the
Mhm.
amount of subscribers than me. You've been doing it longer. If you took your craps, you took every other craps channel out there, and you all merged your paycheck from YouTube, mine would probably be 5 times more than all of yours put together. And it,
Wow.
and it's the truth. It's
Which,
because it's
mhm.
because that when I teach this kind of stuff to people, I'm overwhelmed by the loyalty from these people and the letters that I get from these people, because the stuff that I'm showing, I've heard people. I'll say his name. I don't have anything against him or anything like that. I think it's Dave from. He does the dealer school.
uh yeah, Dave from Casino Quest.
Yes. Okay.
David Noel. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a good person. I don't have anything bad about him at all. I would ever say he's a good guy. But he was having a podcast or something one day, and I know he was talking about me. He didn't verbally say my name, but he said something along the line as the people who are providing these training and things like that. Now, he's probably right about 90% of them. Okay, especially these sportsbook guys. Stay away from those guys. Those guys are nothing but scammers. But he was coming across in a way as if the only way I was benefiting was because they were taking all the course money. Yes, I'm not going to lie. I do well from my training courses. And all of those people that buy it, I appreciate that. But you
Mhm.
know, the truth is, it's worth every single penny, because the information and the amount of money that I earn, I have a skill and things that I'm bringing to the table when I teach that. So when you're trying to learn something, you have to really educate yourself and learn from
Yeah.
other people's success.
So would you, okay, learning from other people, would you say your strategies that you are keeping secret into your private lessons, are they unique strategies, or something
Yes.
you came up, or it's from what you've
Well,
learned from others, you made it your own, or?
the, okay. I'll tell you the difference between the two. Okay, I don't want to. I won't get into the baccarat because I know you're a craps channel.
Yeah.
Um, the craps, those strategies, what those strategies help people do is they're constantly reminded about the money management and the levels of the betting. Not to get into situations where they're not using profits. I'm constantly teaching. Get a quick win. Come down. Use your profit. Cash out. If you don't have any money, I'm constantly reminding them from the different strategies. And the difference between me, when you watch my craps channels, now I'm guilty. I'm guilty my first year. I made a decision after my first year of doing this craps channel that I was not going to ever show another craps strategy where I would not be able to do it for a living, where I wouldn't be able to go to that casino and constantly try to make money playing that strategy. I'm not looking for views. I don't need the little paycheck from YouTube on the ads. Okay, I'm not interested in that. So
Hmm.
I'm not one of these kind of people that are just throwing out strategy and strategy just to try to have something to content to show you. I could give a crap about that. When you're
Hmm.
watching on my channel, they're well thought out strategies, and that's why they become private. Because I don't. There's a lot of good people out there, and there's a lot of people who do not deserve my strategies for free because they're just people that maybe said something bad or they're just not. You know that you get my strategy when you pay for it. It's a business. It's
Hmm.
worth it.
Yeah, I do lessons too. My lessons are different. It's more like of a beginner class, kind of getting familiar with the game. i'm not
Yeah.
i'm not at your level, kind of.
Well, you know, Brian. There's a big. That's really good that you do that because there's a lot of people out there that um, when we teach crafts or when we show crafts, we're not going into the basics of it because we have so many experienced people that are watching us. It would
Hmm.
bore them to death. They don't want to sit there and learn. So it's really. I originally had a new beginner one, but I didn't
Yeah.
have a big enough demand for it. But I'm glad that you do that. I removed it. I
What
removed it
you?
from my training.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have a big enough demand. There's not a big enough first of all, craps channels and things like that. As a business person and that's doing YouTube, there's going to be a lot of changes with my channel for 2026. So
Yeah, why don't you share quickly, before we got 4 minutes left in our live stream? What's coming up with Gamble with Jimmy, and where they can find your channel and all of that.
yeah, I mean, you guys can just go to YouTube and put Gamble with Jimmy. I'm going to make sure, Brian, that I also do something to promote over to your channel to get my subscribers over to your channel. Um, but you know, basically on my channel, what you can expect is a professional that's showing you things that actually are going to help you make money. But also I'm really torn right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been really torn about my channel, um, where I almost am going a full blown baccarat channel, and the reason why is because my support comes from the baccarat community. They've been good to me from the get go. I have a lot of good craps people that are really loyal to me as well. And I always will show craps, but I will probably downgrade the amount of videos in craps um, and focus more. Now, also too, I'm debating whether I want to go with the full blown bluff style because I've talked to a lot of the casinos. For example, I talked to Bluff's casino where he plays and they authorize him,
At El
and they
Cortez,
didn't
yeah.
want to. Yeah, guy's name is Adam, and
Yeah.
he didn't want to approve me because he said that I'm teaching how to win and I'm teaching strategies and things like that. And he goes, "We're more looking for entertainment." And here's the truth: this is what I'm dealing with. Okay, I'm somebody on YouTube that does everything he can to help everybody win and gives you the best possible ways to win in this particular game. And the problem is, I don't have enough people watching. I've spent 2 years of doing it. My
Mm-hmm.
videos only get between 500 and 1,000 views. That's absolutely horrible. The people who watch me are the people that know that I'm good in the game, and they know they're the smarter people that watch it to learn and to keep practicing and remind themselves of the money management. So those
Mm-hmm.
people appreciate me. But the problem is, as a business person, you're better off teaching how to lose. It's the truth. People don't want to sit there and watch some guy win at home and show a strategy. They want to see somebody like Bluff who gets 70,000 views in one day, go there and
Mm-hmm.
just blow five to $10,000
So
and move
Jimmy, are
on.
you willing to blow that much for to get that much views?
You hit it right on the button. That's what I'm dealing with. I've been analyzing the numbers. Now Bluff is making about $80,000 a month, but he's blowing about 50% to 60% of that money because he's not a winning player. And the problem is that if I show you me playing live, I can do it. There's no ifs or buts about it. I can do it. I can go there with no problem and spend the money. And I can get a lot of people coming in on Gamble with Jimmy that want to watch me every day because it's exciting. We all want to see that.
Right.
But the problem is,
But Bluff, the difference between you and Bluff is an action player. You got
but
yours is
that's
gonna
what
be a
But
more of a
no, it cannot be that way. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The
ah
casino does not want me to show how to win. They don't want that. They don't want that. They don't. They are not looking for an educational channel. They're looking
ah
for a guy who's gambling a lot and spending a lot of money and getting a lot of action. And in order for me to get the type of views that he does, I have to become a losing player.
I see.
But I have to be
All
able to justify it. I have to be able to justify it. Is the a potential 80,000 that I could be bringing in from it worth it if I lose 50,000 a month having fun and blowing the money? I get all the views and I still make 30 grand a month.
I would take that deal. You give
Yes.
me 80,000 and I'll play to lose 50,000. That's a good
Well, now
deal.
you
But
guys know why Vegas Matt can go there and gamble
yeah,
$5,000 a day in a slot machine.
right. No, but Bluff's a good guy.
Yeah, yeah,
He's just been blessed with
yes,
having this
yeah,
opportunity to give out,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
I
he
met
works
with him
hard.
and I play with him and I text him every now and then. See that guy's extremely busy. He works his butt off.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, Jimmy, we're out of time right now. 4:30. I want to thank you for your time. That's been an hour and a half. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I heard the baby. Hey, one last question.
Yeah.
When are you going to be in
Okay.
Vegas?
In November. We're gonna do a HCS meetup in November. So
Early or mid or
we don't advertise it. Our patrons know.
Okay,
Um,
you send me an email.
yeah. Okay.
Send me an email and
All
I'll
right,
try to meet you
Jimmy.
guys out there, okay?
All right. Sounds good.
All right,
Well,
guys.
we'll
Thank
see
you
you
everybody
guys.
for
Thank you
watching. Appreciate
everybody in
that.
chat. Thank you, Jimmy, who's in Tampa. Again, go check out his channel, Gamble with Jimmy. All right. Take care, guys, and may
Okay.
the dice be nice. Aloha, guys.
Take care, guys.